Trump tweeted the following late last night. Here's the tweet from Donald J. Trump. He said, quote, "In the East, it could be the coldest New Year's Eve on record. Perhaps we could use a little bit of that good old global warming that our country, but not other countries, was going to pay trillions of dollars to protect against. Bundle up." Oh, you can imagine the seething, autistic screeching that immediately followed this tweet. We had a selection of those tweets in this article. And again, this is the overarching point. They use weather to prove global warming when it goes in their favor. Whenever we have a hot summer, whenever we have a heat wave, the left, the global warming alarmists, point at it and say, oh, look, this is proof of global warming. It's so hot. Trump does the same thing, but on the flip side said, look how cold it is. Maybe we need some more global warming. They say, how dare you, you unscientific bigot. How dare you claim that weather has any relation to long-term climatic trends? That's what they do every single frigging summer. In fact, you had Chris Cillizza from CNN tweet in response to this. He said, quote, "By the Trump logic, a warm summer would be incontrovertible evidence that climate change is real." Yeah, that's literally what the left claims every time there's a warm summer. They want to have their cake and eat it. Of course, they also claim that cold winters are part of global warming. They claim that mild winters are part of global, just any weather whatsoever, any kind of hurricane season, any kind of extreme weather event, whether there are few of them, whether there are lots of them. Either way, it all proves that man-made global warming is real. And you need to give us your tax money to sort it out. You need to give us those lucrative government grants over and over again. You need to pay those exorbitant, soaring electricity bills. Like Spain, look at Spain, for example. They had a green economy, all based around this pseudo-scientific fraud. 25% unemployment rate. That's what it resulted in. It resulted in a 50% unemployment rate for young people. They've got abandoned factories all over the country, crumbling, falling apart, and they're all reliant on green energy, which is largely useless. Like, it takes more energy to power a wind turbine than the actual energy you get from it. And what's the result? Exorbitant, skyrocketing electricity prices. Like, I have to pay my parents' electricity bill because they can't even afford to pay it on their pension. They live in Spain. Completely out of control. But now Trump dares tweet about it in a jokey fashion, and the blue checkmark brigade just lose their stuff. I mean, let's go back to this article. Let's see some of these responses. The mass triggering. Daniel Dale said, "It's funny. When Trump made his Paris Accord announcement, the White House evaded for days as reporters asked whether the president still believes global warming is fake. He just tweeted it out." David Frum. This is what David Frum said. Now, bear in mind, David Frum is a neocon. He was George W. Bush's speechwriter before the invasion of Iraq. He responded to this. And this is a funny thing that you see now. All these neocons are trying to come back to prominence, having had their ideas completely annihilated by the course of history. They're trying to come back to prominence by ingratiating themselves with the far left. David Frum said, when the alien archaeologists study the ruins of human civilization, this will take a prominent place in their notebooks. That's George W. Bush's speechwriter for the invasion of Iraq. You know, if anyone knows about ruining civilizations, it's David Frum. Unbelievable. We'll get more into this on the other side. This is the Alex Jones Show, live breaking news at INFOWARS.com. Don't go away. So whenever we have a hot summer, whenever we have a heat wave, the left cites it as proof that man-made global warming is real, that we need to hand over more of our tax dollars to solve it, that we need to support the scientists who get by with lucrative government grants year after year after year, pushing this pseudo-science. So weather proves global warming if it's hot and if you're arguing for man-made global warming, but try and flip that around and say, look how cold it is. Doesn't this disprove global warming? How dare you challenge our orthodoxy? They will come after you. This is what's happening right now in the aftermath of this Donald Trump tweet. We have Al Gore, of course, who was one of the cult leaders for this entire ideology stretching back over a decade now. Al Gore came out and predicted over and over again that the North Pole would be completely ice-free. He's been proven wrong again and again and again, which is the point. All these climate scientists, Al Gore, whoever you want to look at, Paul Ehrlich, all of them, going back to the 60s, they all predicted catastrophe. And they all cited certain dates by which that catastrophe would happen. None of it happened. They were caught lying, deceiving over and over again. Why is anyone still listening to these people? I remember being a kid, being like 8, 9, 10 years old, and hearing on the news, oh, the north of England is going to be like the south of France within 15 years. Like complete BS. Obviously, you have minor fluctuations in temperature. You have big fluctuations in temperature, in climate, depending on the behavior, the activity of the sun, which is the biggest driver of climate. Even the UN's own reports, even their own bias reports, say that human activity is responsible for about 6% of temperature change over the course of about 100 years. And even those figures are skewed. We had the decline scandal, the whole ClimateGate issue, where they were caught changing temperature measurements to fit in with their doctrine. These are liars, these are deceivers, these are pseudoscientists. We have this article out of Gateway Pundit, and we flash back to this every year because he's been proven wrong every single year. 9 years ago, Al Gore predicted North Pole would be completely ice-free by today. 9 years ago this month, Al Gore predicted the North Polar ice cap would be completely ice-free in 5 years. Gore made the prediction to a German audience in 2008. He told them the entire North Polar ice cap will disappear in 5 years. In fact, we have a video of this, which we can go to in a second, where he made the same prediction in 2009 that the North Polar ice cap would be completely ice-free, would be completely disappeared, melted. By now, it didn't happen. Let's go to this clip. This is from 2009. This is Al Gore. Here it is.
Some of the models suggest to Dr. Maslowski that there is a 75% chance that the entire North Polar ice cap during some of the summer months could be completely ice-free within the next 5 to 7 years.
Within the next 5 to 7 years. Again, that was 2009. So he said by 2016, 2017, the North Pole would be completely ice-free. In the summer, it would be completely melted. He said that for numerous different years as well. It didn't happen. In fact, at the end of the summer this year, we had this article out of Zero Hedge, inconvenient, record Arctic sea ice growth in September. So again, you've had the same thing for the Arctic, the North Pole. We've had expansions, rapid expansions in sea ice, depending, again, on the behavior, the activity of the sun. Yes, sometimes it shrinks down. Sometimes it rapidly expands. But again, we're seeing it again after this Trump tweet where they're all claiming, oh, that's the weather's not proof of climate change. Oh, but it is if we say it is in summer, because that goes in our favor. What's up with that? Which is a scientific blog breaks it down with a headline, record-breaking winter cold. Don't worry, the climate explainers have it covered. The article reads, does record-breaking winter cold cast doubt on climate predictions of milder winters? So again, remember, global warming was supposed to bring us milder winters. Could any weather or climate shift cast doubt on the dominance of that wicked little trace molecule, carbon dioxide? Apparently not, according to leading climate explainers. It's cold outside, but that doesn't mean climate change isn't real. That's a headline out of USA Today. So what happens if global temperatures take a real plunge for a sustained period? Don't worry, the explainers have that one covered as well. They've got everything covered. It's cold, it's mild, it's hot. Extreme weather events, no extreme weather events, they've got it all covered. It's all global warming. Whatever happens, just conveniently, it's all global warming. Shut up, don't talk about it. You're a denier. James Hansen. Now, he was on this whole Gaia train where they basically said that, you know, that part of the human population may need to be wiped out for the good of the earth. James Hansen, former NASA GISS director, published a paper which suggests global warming will trigger a short ice age in the near future. So if we get an ice age, that's also because of global warming and your sinful lifestyle. It's your fault for having too many hot baths. as Prince Charles once said while he lives in opulent luxury in mansions around the world. They've got all the bases covered. Global warming is an infinitely flexible, unscientific, unfalsifiable theory which can be stretched to accommodate any observation. Some climate scientists even shamelessly reject the very concept of scientific falsification with regard to the conduct of climate science. So no matter what happens to the weather, the climate explainers shamelessly cobble together an explanation which blames bad weather on your sinful lifestyle. It's all your fault, and whatever the weather does, that's proof of global warming. Whatever the observation, the climate explainers have their theory. Their infinitely adaptable theory, which they claim is science. Warm weather confirms their worst fears. Cold weather is waved away. Whatever the observation, the explainers shamelessly adapt their theory to provide an explanation based on their scientific theory, which cannot be falsified by any conceivable observations, even an abrupt plunge into a new ice age. So even if we had a new ice age that lasted for decades, they would still continue to insist that global warming was responsible. Oh, and by the way, these are the same people who back in the 70s, and you had Time magazine, Newsweek, front page cover stories about this, who back in the 70s were saying that there was going to be a massive trend of global cooling, that was what humanity was responsible for. That's what we had to tackle in the decades going forward. Again, proven spectacularly wrong. So why is anyone listening to them now? Look at this headline out of Sky News. Scientists predict mini ice age could hit UK by 2030. A mini ice age that would freeze major rivers could hit Britain in less than 2 decades, according to research from universities in the UK and Russia. There you see a flashback headline where they predicted a global cooling back in the 70s were proven completely wrong. But now a mathematical model of the sun's magnetic activity, again, the sun is the main driver of climate, suggests temperatures could start dropping here from 2021 with the potential for winter skating on the River Thames by 2030. When did we last have skating on the River Thames? It was during the last mini ice age, 400 years ago, where we have artist representations of people ice skating on the River Thames in London, because it was a period called the Maunder Minimum where sun activity was low. Again, the sun is the main driver of the climate. A team led by math professor Valentina Zarkova at Northumbria University built on work from Moscow to predict the movements of 2 magnetic waves produced by the sun. It predicts rapidly decreasing magnetic waves for 3 solar cycles beginning in 2021 and lasting 33 years. Very low magnetic activity on the sun corresponds with historically documented cold periods on Earth. You could go through history. Hundreds and hundreds of years ago, we swung wildly between warm periods and cold periods. There you see Time magazine, the Global Warming Survival Guide. The current propaganda phase is global warming. If we have a mini ice age, they'll just switch it back and say, oh, by the way, you're also responsible for this. Whatever happens, ice age, heat wave, cold weather, hot weather, you're to blame. Give us your money. Stop having hot baths. We're the elite. We're going to tell you how to live your life while we live in opulent luxury. Screw you. That's basically the message. This is the Alex Jones Show Live. We'll be back with more news after the break. Breaking news at INFOWARS.com. Don't go away. We're live on the Alex Jones Show. Before I get back into the news, I want to tell you about another great product that we have available right now for 33% off at InfoWarsStore.com. It is Flora Life, the all-new digestive probiotic formula right now at InfoWarsStore.com. 33% off thanks to stress, high-carb diets, unnatural ingredients, fluoride tap water, and bad outside bacteria and toxins. The good probiotic bacteria in our gut is constantly under attack. That's why scientists work day and night to create Flora Life, currently at 33% off, a powerful probiotic formula to help boost your gut health and support a healthy immune system. Flora Life goes above and beyond many natural probiotic formulas with 20 of the most potent strains on the market. With these powerful ingredients, this formula can boost your gut health, an essential process for optimal health. You've heard Alex talk about how important gut health is for your body, and that is Flora Life. It is 33% off at InfoWarsStore.com. Part of the massive discount we have running, the New Year's extended specials, where we have everything from Super Male Vitality at 50% off to Silver Bullet at a massive 67% off, Brain Force Plus at 50% off. All of these with free shipping. This is the New Year's extended special. It's not going to stick around long. What do we have? Just a few days left of the year. But you can take advantage of those huge discounts, support the network, and get free shipping on everything at InfoWarsStore.com while supplies last. Let's get back into some of this news. Talking before the break about global warming and the left asserting how much they love science, how scientific they are, how bigoted, uninformed. And in some cases now they're claiming that Trump's mentally ill because he made fun of global warming, because he suggested for a moment, he committed the thought crime that it may not actually be a thing, given these massively cold temperatures we're experiencing, not just in America, but also in many parts of Europe. But the left, they're all about science, right? They stand on the side of science, unless you're talking about gender and sexuality, in which case there are 75 different genders, in which case chromosomes don't determine sex. That's what they're literally saying. These are the scientists. These are the pro-science leftists. They stand firmly on the side of science. They're meticulous. They also say that chromosomes don't determine sex. Yes, this is actually a news story. Biology professor lectures state rep on sex determination stuff. A San Jose State University biology professor recently accused a Texas state legislator of being bigoted for tweeting that there are only two genders. How dare he? In case you forgot how many genders there are, that's the tone in which they tweet. Republican State Representative Briscoe was hit back, but the backlash was monumental after he attached a picture of the XX and XY chromosomes. He committed that particular thought crime. Describing herself as a geneticist, Rachel French, the professor, the biology professor, responded to the tweet with an extended harangue in which she impugned Kane's motives and derided his understanding of biology. This is what she tweeted. Bear in mind, this is a biology professor. This is who's teaching your kids right now. Quote, "Hey, geneticist here, you've disingenuously and for bigoted purposes oversimplified a complex phenomenon." She went on to tweet a few notes. One, sex and gender aren't the same thing. Again, that's their incredibly deluded argument that there are untold genders, that toddlers can be gender fluid. We had Lewis Hamilton, the Formula One champion, having to apologize for ribbing his nephew because he was wearing a princess dress. He said boys don't wear princess dresses. He was castigated. He was crucified. He was forced to recant for his thought crime. Well, this is what this biology professor is saying. Sex and gender aren't the same thing. And two, chromosomes don't determine sex. She literally tweeted that out. This is a biology professor saying that the XX and XY chromosomes don't determine sex. The most unscientific, incredibly obscure thing you could ever say as a scientist. Chromosomes don't determine sex. But these are the people who stand with science. We're unscientific, ill-informed bigots for questioning global warming. They're scientific when they say chromosomes don't determine sex. These are the people who are teaching your kids. Absolutely incredible. Oh, by the way, Elizabeth Warren tweeted that she was all about the science. This is the woman who claims, of course, Native American ancestry. There's no evidence for that whatsoever, but she's all about the science too. Absolutely insane. Idiot protests Trump by yelling at his robot doll during Disney World show. This is one of my favorite headlines of the week by far. Trump derangement syndrome claimed another victim after a former executive assistant at NBC decided to protest the president by yelling at his animatronic robot doll during a show at Disney World. Now, you've probably seen this robot doll. They have a big show, all the past presidents reading a statement, all the robots, they all look really lifelike, realistic, probably apart from the Trump one, which looks like it was a Hillary Clinton doll that they had to reconfigure after she lost the election. Some people have claimed that. So all these presidents Of course, current and former get up and give this speech. All these robots, very lifelike. It's quite a good show, quite an interesting show. But Jay Malski decided to assert himself as a member of the resistance by getting up at this Disney World show. Bearing in mind he'd be surrounded by parents with their kids, frightened kids. Who's this screaming idiot, Daddy? He got up and started screaming, "Lock him up," at a robot. He literally did that. While other audience members, probably concerned about their frightened children, told him to shut up, one of the audience members informed Malski that he was literally yelling at a robot, telling him he's not real. He tweeted, Malski, the brave resistance member, tweeted, "I protested real Donald Trump at the Hall of Presidents cuz I'll never get this close in real life, probs. Hashtag lock him up." Now, the responses to this tweet were monumentally funny, as you can go and see for yourself. One person pointed out Disney World is a private park and has a set of guidelines and standards to ensure guests have a good experience. That video is disgusting and immature. Families trying to enjoy their vacations, not listen to your friend's ridiculous shouting. Well, Malski doubled down in response to this by suggesting that his protest was legitimate because Disney is a public institution, because it's a publicly traded company. So this guy literally thinks that because Disney is on the stock market, that means it's a public institution. Yeah, that's the level of intelligence that we're dealing with here. In a tweet that was subsequently deleted, after he started to get attention for this, Malski posted a picture of the Trump robot and remarked, "Okay, are we allowed to say that we want to murder this?" So he literally tweeted his desire to murder a Trump-like robot before he even did this. This is the level of sanity. This is virulent Trump derangement syndrome on display. He's come out since and gave an interview with a far-left SJW outlet. Heckler of Trump animatronic at Disney World responds to haters. He said, "Check your privilege." Well, check your intelligence, because you're a complete dunderhead and you've been ridiculed beyond all expectation. This is the Alex Jones Show Live. We'll be back in the next segment with more breaking news, which you can find at INFOWARS. We are back live on the Alex Jones Show, getting right back into this news. Now, of course, a couple of days ago, we had CNN literally hiding in bushes to get footage of Donald Trump's golf swing, behaving like crazed body boiler stalkers, stalking their ex-boyfriends. Well, now we have this headline: CNN's quest for truth behind truck blocking view of Trump golf course stretches into second day. CNN's quest to uncover an explanation. There you see them hiding in the bushes to try and get a shot of his golf swing. Absolutely incredible. But they had a larger objective with this. They were on a quest to uncover why a truck, and if a truck was blocking their view of Trump's golf course. Well, this stretched into a second day on Wednesday, and once again bore no concrete answers, but rest assured, CNN's on the case. Noah Gray, a producer for CNN who tweeted a picture of a white box truck in front of hedges adjacent to the golf course on Wednesday, tracked down what looked to be an identical, if not the same truck parked Thursday in a parking lot at the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Department. When asked about the truck, again, this is an important national security issue, the Sheriff's Department told CNN it did not order the truck to obstruct the media's view of the president. Gray noted a spokesman for the department, Todd Barbera, reiterated that denial on Thursday, saying the management team didn't order the truck. So they were on it Wednesday, they were on it Thursday, no doubt they're still on it today. Was this truck used to block the media? The massive story that CNN's hot on the case of. CNN's John Berman, who sat in for Anderson Cooper on his 360 evening program on Thursday, said that the truck, which was in a lot behind a fence, was parked in such a way that they could not compare license plates. This is completely obsessive crap. Berman also said that where the truck was parked on Wednesday outside of Trump's golf course, only Sheriff's Department vehicles had parked there previously. This is how beset they are with every tiny frigging nuance of Donald Trump's life. It's ridiculous. The truck blocked CNN's view of the golf course one day after the network touted exclusive footage of the president hitting the links. Remember before he was even inaugurated, where Trump went to dinner with his family. And the media, they were like, oh my God, he's gone to dinner with his family. That level of obsession hasn't decreased a year later. Let that sink in. CNN reached out to the Secret Service. Listen to the Secret Service's response. This is funny. For comment on whether it had anything to do with the truck, the driver of which in the video could be seen blocking a view of his or her face. The Secret Service responded in a statement, quote, the USSS Secret Service is in the business of protection and investigations, not in commissioning vehicles to block the media's view of the president's golf swing. And I think that underscores the ludicrousness of this obsession. Hiding in the bushes, crafting conspiracy theories about Trump using a truck to block their view. There was another one a couple of days ago, an Associated Press article asking, why does Trump only stay at Trump properties, Trump-owned properties, when he's in D.C.? Well, the answer's obvious, because your relentless hysteria, your obsession, your relentless hysteria about his presidency being illegitimate makes it unsafe for him not to stay in Trump-owned properties. We don't want a James T. Hodgkinson Mark II on our hands, do we? You've radicalized a significant portion of these idiotic resistance members, some of whom are quite prepared to carry out violence. So why do you think Trump's careful about where he stays, where he appears in public? When your level of obsession, your level of hysterical obsession comes down to hiding in bushes and crafting insane conspiracy theories about trucks and the Secret Service being in on it and all that kind of stuff. When you've got that level of obsession, when you've tried to delegitimize the very legitimacy of his presidency, of the election itself, you're going to have crazies out there who are willing to take a pot shot. And your rhetoric is partly responsible for that, as we saw in the case of James T. Hodgkinson when he tried to shoot up a bunch of Congress members. So why do you think he stays at Trump-owned properties in D.C.? More Trump derangement syndrome. Professor who blamed Trumpism for Las Vegas massacre resigns. A far-left Drexel University professor known for making inflammatory remarks on social media is resigning from his teaching job, blaming a right-wing internet mob for alleged harassment. The same lame excuse they come out with every single time. You write absolute crap on the internet, you're going to get crap back. It's called being a public figure. Having an opinion on social media, you're going to get some back. Whenever the left does it, whenever they get some heat back, oh, it's harassment. Because they're snowflakes. This is the same guy who tweeted that he wished for white genocide over Christmas. That was his Christmas wish. You know, a time when people come together. There's this, unity of humanity. Maybe we can drop the politics just for a few days, get together and celebrate the core principles of what it is to be a human. No, we want white genocide. That's the mindset. George Ciccarello-Meyer, an associate professor of politics and global studies at the Philadelphia School, will be leaving next year. They finally got rid of him after all these ridiculous statements on Twitter. On Christmas Eve, he said all he wanted for the holidays was a white genocide. This is a guy who said he wanted to vomit or yell after seeing an airline passenger giving up a first-class seat to a U.S. military service member. Voluntarily, by the way. That's a nice gesture, isn't it? Giving up your first-class seat to a U.S. military service member. No, it made him want to vomit and yell. Oh, but Sheila Jackson Lee can just steal somebody else's seat, and that's perfectly fine. And they're racist for complaining about it. This is the new left. He's finally been made to... And those comments aren't even the worst of it. In fact, you can go and look. You can go on Twitter. I think there's a Twitter account called Far Left Watch, which tweeted out some of his past statements. Absolutely insane. Anyone else would be banned for them on Twitter. Imagine wishing black genocide. You'd be banned in a heartbeat, and rightly so. This guy tweeted that a year ago. Nobody touches him. He's sacred. But now he's finally been forced to resign from his job. And he's whining and bitching about harassment because people dared to challenge his dumb frigging opinions on Twitter. Boo-hoo. See you, moron. Bye-bye. The American Mirror reports CNN's Don Lemon, Trump saying Merry Christmas is a dog whistle to base. President Donald Trump wants Americans to feel free to say Merry Christmas again, but CNN's Don Lemon thinks that's a dog whistle to his base. Lemon aired a clip from Trump pointing out that people are saying Merry Christmas again since he took office, and he said, quote, "This is a line that we've heard from Donald Trump many, many times. Why does he continue? This is a dog whistle to the base because no one has ever stopped saying Merry Christmas." So the left are coming out again. They're saying, don't be stupid. We never stopped saying Merry Christmas. The war on Christmas isn't a thing. Forget about it. Stop obsessing about it. What's your problem? Oh, by the way, they're also saying we're triggered by Trump saying Merry Christmas. We say it promotes white nationalism, and we're implying that it's racist. So anybody who complains about Merry Christmas being kind of frowned upon, they're insane. They're conspiracy theorists. Oh, by the way, we're going to frown upon you saying Merry Christmas and say you're racist for doing so. Newsweek article claims Trump uses Merry Christmas to promote white nationalism. So again, Don Lemon is up there saying there's no war on Christmas. Nobody says saying Merry Christmas is a bad thing. Meanwhile, the same mainstream media is saying that anyone who uses the term Merry Christmas is promoting white nationalism, that Donald Trump is a dog whistle for white nationalism. This is out of Newsweek. This came out like a week ago. How Trump and the Nazis stole Christmas to promote white nationalism. The author and several academics linked Trump's repeated Christmas wishes to a desire to exclude other religions and foment a culture war. So again, there's no war on Christmas. Nobody's telling you you can't say Merry Christmas. Oh, by the way, if you do say Merry Christmas, you're racist and a white nationalist. Absolutely incredible mental gymnastics from the left. And Don Lemon had an entire panel where they were up there saying, oh, nobody's attacking Christmas. Oh, by the way, if you do vehemently say we should all say Merry Christmas, you're a white nationalist. No, you can't have it both ways. Absolutely incredible. We'll be back in the next segment, the final segment of the Alex Jones Show. Breaking news at INFOWARS.com. Get the discounts, massive Christmas discounts right now at INFOWARSstore.com. We'll be back. Stay tuned. We're live. It is the final segment of the Alex Jones Show because War Room with Owen Schroyer is coming up next. But I want to tell you about the specials available. Last call for the specials for this hour at INFOWARSstore.com. These are the New Year's extended specials. It's time to start your new year right. We're extending some of the best specials of the year to help you start 2018 in the right manner. Free shipping on all these products. They include Super Male Vitality, 50% off with free shipping. Silver Bullet, 67% off. Brain Force Plus, 50% off. Alpha Power, 50% off. That is a new product. So even on the new products, we've got huge discounts. The Real Red Pill, 50% discount off. Free shipping on all of these. You've got all the Super Blue products at 50% off. Secret 12 at 50% off. Carnivore and Floralife, 33% off. And much more right now with the New Year specials with free shipping on all these products at INFOWARSstore.com. Please support the growth, the survival of this network. We're only beholden to you. We don't get cut giant checks by George Soros. We're not dependent on Gulf state dictatorship money like CNN. We don't have to produce puff pieces for Bahrain as they torture protesters like CNN does. We're only dependent on you, which is why we remain independent with our content, with our output, which is why we remain only dependent on you, not dependent on outside advertisers, which is why they find it hard to sabotage us financially. You are the foundation of this network, and you support it by getting the products at InfoWarsStore.com. Huge discounts. Take advantage of them today. InfoWarsStore.com. Now, I want to talk about this article, which actually was up at the Daily Mail, which is a little bit confusing because normally they get most of this stuff right. This is by David Tosco, who breathlessly tweeted, exclusive, a White House intern flashed the white power sign while posing with Trump and the rest of his intern class last month. So he thought he had a big exclusive on this dark, shady expression of white supremacy amidst Trump's inner circle. I think they changed the headline later on the Daily Mail to try and water it down because they realized they put their foot in it. The headline at the Daily Mail is exclusive, white power at the White House. Trump intern flashes alt-right symbol used by notorious extremists during group photo with the president. A former White House intern is coming under fire after flashing an own white power sign during a photo op with President Donald Trump. Jack Brewer, who graduated from Emory University in Atlanta, is clearly bucking orders personally given by the president to give a thumbs up in the picture that was taken in the White House in November. So that this is his big exclusive, a month-old story of a young guy doing the OK hand sign during a photo. That's your big exclusive, is it? Absolutely incredible stupidity beyond the pale. Even the ADL. I mean, do you Google, for God's sake? The ADL came out, what, a year ago, nearly a year ago, and said the OK hand sign is not a white supremacist hate symbol. That was one of the headlines out of the Independent. Anti-Defamation League says OK hand sign, not a white supremacist hate symbol. So even the ADL, which, you know, its entire foundation is based on creating hysteria over supposed hate symbols, supposed hateful messages. Even the ADL, which makes its money off doing that, its very existence is dependent on fanning the flames of that hysteria. Even they said it was not a white supremacist hate symbol. And they said that nearly a year ago. Like, can you use google.com? Oh, the big exclusive. Somebody did the OK hand sign a month ago. Whoop-de-doo. They've ruined this guy's life. The top thing that's going to come up when anybody searches this guy, when he's applying for a job, is that he's a white supremacist. Turns out he's Jewish. Daily Mail did an update story. Daily Caller, did an update story on this. White House intern Jack Brewer, accused of flashing white nationalist sign by Daily Mail, tells me he was simply emulating POTUS, Donald Trump, who's also done the same OK sign on numerous occasions, and he has Jewish heritage. This guy's Jewish. Mike Tokes came out with a tweet in response to this, addressing the writer of the Daily Mail article who fell for this stupidity and seems incapable of doing a basic Google search. He said, David, the slightest due diligence would have shown you that this is not true. It is not a hate symbol. You've caused irreparable damage to this intern's reputation and future career prospects. Retract and issue an apology immediately. Whether they've done that in the time since this came out yesterday, I didn't have a chance to check, but that's the case. They've damaged this guy's reputation. Any potential employers are going to look and see, oh, he's a white supremacist. No, he's not. This was a 4chan troll to get you to say that doing that is a white supremacist hand sign. And you fell for it over and over again. Just because a bunch of people on an internet forum say it's white power doesn't make it so. It's the OK hand sign. And even the ADL acknowledges that fact. So you're literally spreading fake news and ruining this guy's life. And as far as I've seen, there's no retraction yet. Remember back, I think it was about 6-8 months ago, Mike Cernovich and Cassandra Fairbanks got up in front of the White House press briefing room altar there, the lectern, and did the same thing. And then the Independent came out 2 days later and said, oh, my God, look at this bombshell proof of white supremacy. These are the same people who are actually attacked by the alt-right on a regular basis. But no, they collectivize, they lump everybody in. They try to demonize Trump supporters by saying they're white, racist nationalists for doing that, the OK hand sign. This is fake news. This was fake news nearly a year ago, but they're still promoting it. They're still pushing it. They're ruining this guy's reputation. They're ruining his future career prospects. Stop being idiots and falling for every single frigging 4chan troll. It's quite simple. Moving on, MSNBC contributor urges Democrats to run on Trump impeachment. This was James Peterson, who was asked by Steve Kornacki, is impeachment part of the message for 2018 for Democrats? He responded, it absolutely should be. So again, the Democrats have no actual policy platform. They're running on being the anti-Trump party, even though that specific reason was why they lost in 2016. We should welcome this. Any Trump supporters should love this. They still have no ideas whatsoever about how to reach the middle and working class with actual policies. They're absolutely terrified that the Trump tax cut will resonate with people in the working and middle class, as it already is. What's their response? Oh, should we get an actual policy platform that addresses this, maybe cater to these people who voted for Trump for that very reason, because they've been abandoned economically? No. We're just going to continue autistically screeching about how evil Donald Trump is, about how we should impeach him. They've got nothing. They've still got nothing. It's not going to translate into votes. It didn't before. It's not going to do it again. Will they actually get a policy platform this time? It remains to be seen. Farmers markets are now racist, by the way, another thing you can add to the list. Farmers markets are insidious white spaces, normalize white eating habits. So hipsters, which, you know, those are the kind of people who attend farmers markets, they're racist. You can't attend them anymore. Farmers markets normalize the food consumption habits of white people and contribute to the oppression of minorities, according to two professors at San Diego State University. Again, these are the people teaching your kids. Farmers markets are one such environmental improvement that can lead to gentrification, Bosco and Jossart argue, saying farmers markets are exclusionary since locals may not be able to afford the food and or feel excluded from these new spaces. So the author of this article, Chris Menahan, points out, when white people move out of a city, it's white flight. When they move in, it's gentrification. And when they move to another country, it's colonization. So basically, any behavior while white is racist. This social exclusion is reinforced by the whiteness of farmers, the professors argued. Whiteness of farmers markets and the white habitus that they can reinforce, the professors say, describing farmers markets as white spaces where the food consumption habits of white people are normalized. God forbid would you have something that caters to a certain segment of the population, as you would with Mexicans or black people. Now, it's okay for them, but white people, it's racist for them simply to turn up at a farmer's market. So white people casually eating food is now racist, another one to add to the list. Fitness coaches guilty of perpetuating fat oppression, professors warn. I can't figure out which is the funniest here. We've got a biology professor saying the X chromosome, the XY chromosome don't determine sex. We've got professors saying that farmers markets are racist. We've got other professors saying that fitness coaches, people in gyms who try to help people lose weight, are now perpetuating fat oppression. Once again, these idiots are teaching your kids. That's going to wrap it up for the show. Owen Schroyer is coming up. War Room Live. Don't go.